Facebook is the ultimate evil. In 2020, Facebook executives and Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg found to their surprise that the users of Facebook did not push back over much when Facebook started censoring, editing, and deleting posts referring to what Facebook considered COVID-19 virus misinformation. In fact, here we see a story from July of this year where the White House was tasked with signaling user posts to Facebook officials of posts that White House officials thought should be censored by Facebook. Now, you think the White House of the Biden administration would be very busy? Where do they find the time to be sitting on Facebook all day looking for posts that adversely affect the image of the Biden administration? But never mind. Facebook and the Biden White House and the Democratic Party, they're all working together. So Facebook said, let's expand our efforts even more. Here, Donald Trump criticizes Mark Zuckerberg, saying that the $400 million Zuckerberg donated to help local election offices in the 2020 presidential election makes Zuckerberg a criminal. Trump appeared to be referring to the $400 million that Zuckerberg and his wife donated to local election offices last year. The money was to help the offices adapt to changes in voting patterns that resulted from the pandemic. Now, does anyone donate money to an American election in order to help with voting changes and voting patterns? Of course not. Mark Zuckerberg wanted to influence and rig the 2020 presidential election to elect Democrats, particularly Joseph Biden. In this, Mark Zuckerberg succeeded in illegally rigging the 2020 presidential election. So with this, it seems that Facebook can do anything they want. I want to show you something here which is kind of amusing and sad at the same time. Once Facebook found they could edit users' posts for any reason, they quickly expanded the scope of what things they decided they could edit if you post on Facebook. Here's a meme that was circulating last week. It's just an amusing little comparison. Men in 1944 facing almost certain death, referring to the D-Day invasion of Normandy as the Allied troops of Canada, Britain, and the United States stormed the beaches to drive the Germans out of France. Pretty heroic, right? Then on the lower half, showing a fearful man wearing a mask, men in 2020, you can tell it's an old meme, facing a 99.9% survival rate. This is in reference to the fact that we should not be living our lives in fear of coronavirus COVID-19, which still gives you a 99.9% survival rate. You don't have to change your lifestyle to survive COVID-19. You don't have to lock down your business, lock down your school, lock down your state, or lock down your country to survive a new virus. But that is the message of the Democratic Party because they want to use a virus to control the American people. And they see new variants, new lockdowns, and new virus vaccine mandates as the means to control the American people. It's not for your own good, it's for their own power. And Facebook is right along the lines of that. Look what Facebook does. If you put this photo up on your Facebook account, this is what Facebook has done to it as of the following week. They put a little disclaimer over a photo. A photo. They put a disclaimer that says, information, partly false information. The same information was checked in another post by independent fact checkers. See why? Well, you don't have to see why. Facebook figured out that once no one pushed back on their censoring and editing of their customers' posts, that they could censor anything they wanted. They can edit reality and control reality on any topic under the sun because Facebook hates their customers. They view them as their slaves. And that is in fact the same attitude at the Biden White House. They hate the American people. They view us as their slaves. Our only purpose is to keep them in power in perpetuity, and with that power, the money that the Democratic Party accumulates. Anyone who interferes with the accumulation of money and power by the Democratic Party and by the Democratic Party's friends, such as Mark Zuckerberg, is the enemy. And that's why you see this stupid little disclaimer over a harmless and quite factual photo. Why is it partly false to say you should not fear the coronavirus? Because that robs the Democratic Party of power and control over you. And this is why social media is in fact unsocial media, and why Facebook and Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg are the ultimate evil. Think of that the next time you see Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook censoring and editing and banning anything by President Donald Trump. If Trump is the menace to democracy, why is it that Facebook is the one censoring and trying to control your life? You'd almost think Mark Zuckerberg was the mad dictator, not the former president. Thank you.